Yo, what's going on, boxing brothers and sisters around the world, around YTBC? What's going on? It's Major Key Monday. You know what I'm saying? We got a special guest in the building. We're about to get to that in just a moment. But let's let a couple people flow into the building. Got a lot to talk about on Major Key, but first, obviously, we want to talk to the guest, and then we could talk about everything else afterwards, like we normally do on Major Key Mondays. But as you can see on the title, we have a little special guest right now, up and coming phenom, only 17 years old. What's going on, Kinda Loco? Welcome to the broadcast. Yeah, I mean, and Kinda Loco, let me know if you have any questions as well. I could send you the StreamYard. I'm just not trying to post it for anybody random, but I'll go ahead and text you, the link if you have a question. But first, we're going to get everything out of the way as far as the basics. And then we'll get into detailed questions and all of that, but we obviously want the brother to get everything off his chest. All I'm going to ask is everybody respect Lisa Bales. Welcome to the building, Queen Lisa. J Blues Radio, what's going on? We want to make sure that everybody, at the end of the day, we all know this is an adult broadcast. However, respect as far as the way we use our language. The man is 17 years old, upcoming, boxes like a grown man, but nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? He's 17 years old, so let's all speak with respect. You know what I mean? We got people flowing in the building right now. All right, we'll get it chopping up. Let's see, 723, give it to 725. Let some people flow in here. But great, we're going to talk about this afterwards. Great weekend. Man, bro, Virgil Ortiz and Maurice Hooker. Let me tell you something. I don't care if Ortiz still showed 17-0, Hooker is a damn warrior, man. Hooker's a beast. Hooker is a beast. Let me tell you that right now, man. Because at first glance, I thought, what is this guy doing, moving up to that division, fighting a beast like Ortiz? But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, but damn, he was actually putting in some work on Ramirez before the TKO. So then I had to think about it. I'm like, and that's the only L on his resume. So is it going to be that easy like everybody thinks? And obviously, you seen Virgil Ortiz face afterwards, man. That was a tough fight. So I give kudos to Ortiz for winning, pulling out the victory and sticking in there. But I give Hooker damn near the same amount of respect for hanging in there until what happened. So that's what's up with them two right there. Also, Sanisa Estrada, you know what I'm saying, coming up, finally getting a belt, so shout out to her, doing her thing. L-Dog, what's up? Salute. Salute to everybody. I see y'all flowing in. It's only a couple of people right now, but let's get it popping. Let me welcome my guest here real quick. Welcome to the channel. How you doing?
It's good, man.
How you doing, man? I'm good, man. How you been?
All right. I'm living.
All right. Well, I appreciate you first and foremost for coming on here. You know what I'm saying? You're best. I'm kind of a new channel. I've been around the YTBC, but I'm a pretty new channel. So I appreciate you being my first official interview. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So first and foremost, we want obviously to know all about what's going on with Lolo. You know what I'm saying? We want to know what's going on as far as a pretty short amateur career. You know what I'm saying? Right now, kind of starting out in the pros. Nevertheless, 75% KO percentage. And right now, in what is it? Super fly, right? Super feather. I'm sorry, super feather. And so there's a lot of competition there. A lot of competition.
Yeah.
A lot of competition. So let's start off the first part. You know what I mean? Let's hear about what got him into boxing and all of that. Like, how we got to this point.
Okay. Well, I grew up in San Bernardino, California, and around all the riffraff and everything. And, so I got caught up in my little wave, you know what I mean? And everything. But, I didn't want my son to get caught up in that, and that was kind of the vision I had for him. I kind of seen when I was about 18 or 19, I seen two young kids in the gym sparring, catching stuff, looking real pretty. I couldn't believe how good they were at 9 and 10 years old, So at that point, I said a prayer right then. I said, Lolo was in the womb. I said I prayed that Lolo would be great one day in boxing, man. And that's pretty much the start of Lolo to me. When I said that prayer right there, I believe God blesses people, and I was blessed to have him. And he's a hard-working kid, and he's not perfect. He's 17, but he's growing, and he's been fighting since he was 5 years old. I've been working with him since he was 5 years old, man, and he's 17 now. So.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, shout out to H Money in the building. He's the one that connected us. If nobody knew, so shout out to H Money, and Ray there as well. But look, when it comes down to it, so I could understand. I really understand it. You don't really know me like that, but everybody knows I have 9 children. Okay.
Do you?
I have 9 children. Yeah. And so I can dig it because I grew up in the Bronx. You know what I mean, in the 80s and 90s, right? So the hectic nature of the crack epidemic, you know what I'm saying, like everything that was going on with the gangs and all of that, everybody going to jail with the stop and frisk and all of that. So I get it, and I could see like that's why I have my son training right now, my youngest son. Well, not my youngest son is 1.5, but my second youngest son, I got him doing a little training too, because you know what, as a father, right? You want to see your son protect himself. When you're not around, you want to be able to, to know that he can hold himself down without having to go to the streets feeling like he needs to be scared to shoot somebody. So I feel that. You know what I mean? And you still out of San Bernardino, or because on Boxwork it showed something different. It showed Rialto. Yeah, Rialto. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Rialto right now, but our gym's in San Bernardino.
Okay, got you. Mm-hmm. Got you. All right. So tell me some of the reasons why you decided just to kind of skip the amateur, the amateur level and just go straight to pro. Well, what did you see that brought you to that decision, or was it money related, or was it just, let's just move forward?
It probably started when I took Lolo out there after when he sparred Tank. I had a, being able to see your son in there with a world champion hold himself well. Kind of gave me the confidence to go ahead and say, well, let's go ahead and do this pro thing. So being in there with a great like Gervonta Tank Davis at 16, pretty much kind of rocketed it. Hearing the stuff that Floyd said, you know what I mean? That was motivation, and I always felt like my son, was at that point where he could handle himself. So I had confidence in him.
So I wasn't going to ask it that soon, but since you brought it up, right? You brought it up. It wasn't me. You brought it up, right? So talking about the Tank Davis sparring, right? And the great words that Floyd Mayweather gave you that inspired you to leave an amateur, pedigree to go straight into the pros, which so far is showing to be a good decision, right? So what did that sparring look like, and what were the words that Floyd Mayweather gave you guys?
Man, the sparring was, it was in before they got in the ring, just how everybody there, not knowing us, we just fresh out of San Bernardino and nobody knows us. So, everybody was looking pretty crazy at us, when we walked in there. Floyd Sr., he was looking my son up and down, like, looking like, are you serious, bro? You know what I mean? You brought this Tank, I could see it in the face, if I'm reading body chemistry, how
there was doubt there. There was doubt. It was like,
a whole lot of doubt there, know, and that's cool because nobody knew us. I get it, but when you've been with your son since day one, man, and you know what type of kid you got, and I think Lolo's just special like that, man. I think that, under the lights, he rises. He's been to multiple nationals, and he gets bigger. He doesn't shrink. You know what I mean? He's not one.
Right. Nope. So he rises to the occasion of the opponent is basically what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Just how Tank was looking at Lolo seeing it, that he was looking at him like a piece of meat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to break this little kid off, swinging his arms and everything. He gave that look, and Floyd was looking like that too. And, but at that point, when you got something special at that point, my son, you know, he told me after, he was like, when I seen that, he said, I wanted to get in the ring with him right now. You know, that's a dog. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's a dog. You know what I mean? Not I want to wait till after he gets loose and warm.
Right.
Felt the pressure, he runs to it. You know what I mean? Some guys run away from the fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? He said, I wanted to get in there right then. So when Floyd said, go ahead and get your shit on, you know, it was nothing. You know, Lolo been doing it. So,
okay.
You know, he got up in there and he did his thing, man, for 4 rounds. You know, I thought he more than held himself, you know. He wasn't running from Tank in there for 4 rounds. You know, he showed good defense at times, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He got caught a couple times, you know. Boxing, right?
Right.
Of course, you're fighting a world champion. You are
right.
going a little bit, right? So
yeah, you're 17 years old fighting or younger, but fighting a world champion. Absolutely, you would expect that.
Right.
But you wouldn't expect the younger kid to hold himself down like the way he did, you know, against a world champion. So yeah.
Right, and he caught him with a good flush left hand, you know what I mean? One of those ones, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't catch him with the uppercut, you know what I mean? The Leo up, but he threw it. Believe me, he threw it. Looked like his feet came off the ground. He tried to knock Lolo out. He tried to put him out, you know what I mean? But like you said, when you've been doing this and you're naturally used to it since a certain age, you're naturally gonna slide out the way of big shots that you see coming, man. And I think that you know, he stayed alert and he did his thing, man. You know, and at the end, you know, it was everybody was giving Lolo props and respect, man.
So let me ask you about that as far as that sparring session, and not only that, but just for future fights, right? What would you say his skill set is? You know, what he brings to the table, right? Or what was effective against Gervonta Davis, and what will be successful against everybody? Because it's a stacked division, 130 stacked right now. You know, you got your Shakurs, you got your Herrings, you got your Framptons, you got your Leo Santa Cruzes, you know, and obviously the other folks that are at the top, right? So then, you know, so there's it's deep, and there's other people around. Like I noticed that you guys are fighting right now out of Tijuana, right? So there's other like a Mexican dude, and I forget his name right now, but he holds like some IBO title. You know, which may be a easy way to get a title, you know, just to kind of like establish that and things like. What are you guys looking at? And what's the skill set that you guys bring to the table? You know, before we get into the whole career track or whatever. But what kind of skills do you bring to the table?
I think he's a boxer puncher. You know, he's a boxer puncher, athletic. You know what I mean, like the Shakurs and those guys. You know, athletic. And he got pop in both hands. But you know, the main thing is staying honest with yourself, knowing that you got a 17-year-old, you know, and you got to still treat him as if a 17-year-old, you know. So you gotta, you just gotta make sure we're not going for everything, you know. He was very anxious in his first fight, you know what I mean, going for everything, swinging for the rope, you know what I mean. You can't be like that in the pro game. You want to be, you know, you got to let the fight progress, you know what I mean, and everything like that. You don't throw everything 1,000 miles an hour. So, you know, just learning how to control. He's still learning. He's still in the learning stage. You know, amateurs is a whole different step up from the the pros is a big step up from the amateurs, and you know, them dropping down to them little 8-ounce gloves that are barely covering their fists, and you're fighting a grown man. It just makes you say, okay, we got to be alert. We got to be alert first and foremost. I think the strength and the power and everything like that is going to naturally grow on him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
With his genes and everything. So it's just reminding him that all of that's going to come out. It's still, you're still catching your rhythm of what you can do and what you can't do in 8-ounce gloves. You know what I mean? And you know, and he's learning. And that's what the Mexico is doing for him, giving him that experience of fighting these guys, you know what I mean, that are coming and swinging, and they're grown men, and they're swinging at trying to take your head off, you know.
Right.
So you got to respect the sport, you know, first and foremost, and understand that everybody that goes in the ring is a warrior, and you got to treat them like that. So, you know, this main part at 17 is just still finding himself, still working on the little niches, trying to get better each fight, not looking at nobody else, but worrying about him and what's in front of him, you know.
Right.
So that's what I try to, teach my son. You know what I mean? I don't want him looking at the other amateurs, these other guys. You know what I mean? I want you focusing on your game. If you want to be great in this sport, you got to worry about you. You
Right.
can't be looking over this way and that way. You got to be trying to get you to the best you that you can get to. So
Yeah.
it's little stuff right now. I'm still, he's still learning and everything. Yeah, he's still a prospect. He's coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a prospect yet. He's just coming up. He's like a guppy in this boxing thing, right?
That's right.
He left the amateurs at 132 and he was number one in the nation, but this pro game, you ain't done nothing here yet. So you still gotta, you got it like it's a way explained in amateur boxing that before you got 10 fights, you're a novice, and that's the way we look at it as a pro game. He doesn't have more than 10 fights, so he's still novice. So fight guys with the smaller records and everything. Gain your experience, keep growing into who you're becoming, and don't make the big mistake, right? Because you can't make these mistakes in boxing. We know that you can't just, because it only takes one shot. This is a warrior sport. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
only shot, and you fighting grown men. We're subject to be out there in front of our kids one day fighting like another grown man that's trying to fight you, and you're subject to getting caught. You know what I mean? With a shot. You know what I mean? And so you just gotta kind of look at it. I look at it from that type of standpoint that I just want to get him tighter, better. Get all the little kinks out. You want him, and you just want to keep ironing him, man. That's what we're doing.
No doubt. So first and foremost, shout out to the chat. We got a lot of major players, people that are all over YouTube all day long. So shout out to the whole chat. But listen, so with that being said, so how long do you see yourself? Because that makes perfect sense. Because what you're doing is put them in basically like in a cage with these dudes that are just grown men throwing haymakers and trying to knock you out. So he's gonna have to learn how to deal with the pressure. So how long do you see him doing that before he moves into like like a U.S. type of venue or something like that? What do you see? And obviously we're still speculating on all of that, right? But what do you see as far as your plan?
Right. I just see him when I get comfortable. When I get comfortable with him, when he feels all the way 100% in there. We don't want to jump out the gate too fast because this is not a sprint; it's a marathon for us. We want to make the right type of noise in this sport.
Much
So
respect for that. Yep.
yeah, we're not trying to rush it. I'm not trying to run him into. You only get one chance at it. You know what I mean? And I want to make sure he's prepared every fight for a battle, So I don't try to put a date on it. I just want to I want to make sure that I know he looks 100%. You know what I mean? He feels 100%, and he says, "Dad, I'm I got this. I get this whole thing, and he's telling me bits and pieces of that after fights, but it's not a whole collective, and I got to see it, so it's more of an eye test thing to me, but the way I look at it, it's no date and time. We'll just keep going until we feel good and ready to come out them blocks, because it ain't no strategy. We ain't trying to be Devin Haney, do this many fights. We're trying to be Lolo, you know what I'm saying? And I want Lolo focusing on Lolo and getting him the best, you know what I mean? To where I'm just the most comfortable with him,
Well, you know what? I mean, that leads me to my next question, because that makes perfect sense that you're not trying to be like anybody. That's a breath of fresh air to hear. Because look at the state of the boxing community, right? Like what's going on in the boxing world right now. What do you feel about that? What's happening in the boxing world? The fact that we can't make these great fights happen because all of the politics. What do you feel about that, man? And give me 1 second. You can start talking. I'm just going to turn on the light behind me. All right.
Yeah, no, I think that Floyd Mayweather kind of put one of those wrenches in the game where everybody's got into more of a pick thing. I think the young Floyd coming up was fighting everything moving, and a lot of people seeing the end of his career. and they seen, okay, well, he's just picking this guy and he's just picking that guy and he's picking the guys that he knows he can beat, right? And that's how he gets to 50-0. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. You know, a lot of people are trying to be and outdo Floyd in his record coming into the game. You know, so you got 90% of the cats doing that, 90 to 95%, and you got the only couple percent that will say I'll fight anybody. You know what I mean? So it kind of messes it up because all these throwback fighters like the Hagler, Hearns, rest in peace Hagler, you know, the Hagler, Hearns, the Ray Leonards, the Durans, they all fought each other, right? They fought each other and they're still legends to us right now, you know, and they're legends because they fought each other, you know, but at the end of the day, we know now it's so much business oriented, you know what I mean, that everybody's looking for the right move instead of just believing in their guy and taking that chance for greatness. I think that you got to believe in yourself 100% to feel like that. You know, I think it's only a few, right? Crawford, we could say Crawford feels like that. He feels like he'll fight anybody right now. You know, I only get that out of one guy in boxing, and that's him. You know what I mean? You know, so and he's already at what age? 30 something, you know what I mean? So he's already made it past and knows exactly who he is, and he believes 100% in who he is and what he can do in the ring. You know, and yeah, so I just think that a lot of these young fighters, they got into that and they're playing chess moves rather than trying to chase legacy. You know, that's my opinion. You know,
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And we're getting some questions from the chat, so let me go ahead and run through some of these questions because you know, because you're new to a lot of people, right? So they want to know how to follow and all that. So some people are asking, you know, as far as what was it, Lisa Bell's, what network does your son fight on? So out of Tijuana, and by the way, you can also answer who's promoting them right now for everybody to know.
We're flying solo right now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We're doing, but we're sliding with H2O promotions with Ashton and them. And him and his dad, you know, and it's a good thing because we're going into Mexico deep. He's got a bunch of fighters and we just slide in with them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They've been knowing each other since they were little, you know, Lolo and Ashton, and been sparring since they were kids and boys, you know what I mean? And here they are both kind of start doing their pro career thing. So we've been sliding out there, but we're still solo, you know what I mean? And I'm still paying every damn thing, you know what I'm saying, for every penny out there, you know.
Well, hey, man, you know, at the end of this show, just text me. I'll put in the description, you know, if there's any Cash App or anything that people could help donate to fund his career, you know what I'm saying? In the meantime, we'll throw it in there, you know?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna say, yeah, I appreciate that. You know, it's all good. You know, like I said, we ain't looking for no handouts or nothing.
No, it's all good though. But this is the boxing community, man. This is what we live.
Nah, I you know how it gets though, man. You know how it gets slid to another thing, man. And you always, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I appreciate it though, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. We got H Money asking, ask him who they fought in the amateurs, right? Ask him about Lolo amateur career, who he beat. That's what H Money's asking.
That's what H is saying. Well, I mean, he's fought a lot of different amateurs. You know, at these nationals, I mean, I can't, you know, HB wanted to pinpoint guys. Like I say, man, I think, you know, H does his thing, man. We do our thing in the ring, and we respect everybody, every cat that Lolo got in the ring with. We respect them. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of vibe we setting off. We're not setting off the funk, the fire in the funk house vibes. You know what I'm saying? Lolo, we just worrying about Lolo. You know what I mean? And that's the way you approach this. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, hey, do his better.
Guy over here and that guy over there, man. The hell with them, man. I'm worried about lonely, man. I'm one of them dads, man. I don't give a damn what other cats is doing, you know. And I used to be like that at the amateurs. I didn't talk to nobody really. I just came with Lolo. I got my pit bull on the leash, and And when I put him in that ring, motherfucker, y'all gonna see what it is. And that's just how I felt about him. You know, it wasn't because I didn't want to be friendly with guys. It was because, you know, I'm down here for one thing, you know, and that's my dog, to let my dog off the leash.
No, I'm a father, man. So trust me, man. I like my son. You know, he swear he the hardest. He called himself two snacks. You know, he's only 10 years old. Called himself two snacks. You know, he a little silly kid, but you know, he think he up there. But then he's got the kindest heart. So I tell him all the time. I'm like, man, I'm not raising no knucklehead, man. Like, you know, you could joke around here all day long with me, but when you get out in the streets, don't act like that, bro. Don't act like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's very helpful. You know, he helps like old ladies. Like he used to walk this old lady's dog next door. Nobody ever asked him to. Like he just, you know, he's a helpful kid at 10 years old. So he's got a head on his shoulders, you know. And I got him already with the foundation as far as the basic 1-2s and the footwork, you know, how to get in. But now I got to start teaching him everything else, the angles, you know, like, you know, because he keeps his hands up. So you know, it's no like Philly shell or nothing like that. It's straight up high guard, like, you know, he's looking in and, you know, trying to come in and all that. So little by little, you know, I'm going to work with him. But no, as a father, I have to respect that. You know what I mean? That you know, you know, what's yours is yours. You know, like you're going to make sure that forget all about what's popular, what's the trend right now. That this is mine. That's not going that way. This is just staying right here. You know, so I got to appreciate that, man. You know, any other questions in the chat? Any other questions? Gave a couple of people links before we popped up here. I could drop a link. Do you have time for questions? Because I'm gonna respect your time.
It's cool right now. I'm cool right now.
Okay, I'm gonna drop a link. I'm gonna let people in one at a time for a question, and then I'm gonna remove them and then let another person in. Again, please come with respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't get yourself blocked for good. So come with respect. You know what I mean? And so there goes a link right there. I know that there's a couple of people here that definitely do always click on a link and have questions. So I'm pretty sure we'll get some people chiming it up right now. But anyway, in the meantime, man, what fight are you looking forward to the most this year, man? There's a lot of activity going on.
Mm-hmm. Sheesh, if they could do that Charlo Benavidez, I'd love to see that. You know what I mean? I'd love to see that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that's fireworks. That's bring the family over, the barbecue, you know what I mean, and the asada, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I love them big super fights, man. I'd love to see, like you said, these 135s mix it up. You know what I mean? But you know, they're gonna do it on their time. You got to understand that. Us as fight fans, we get upset and we want it, you know, but you know, I know they're playing chess too. You know.
Yeah. No doubt, bro. So welcome H Money in the building. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's good, Major Key? What up, Charles Harris? What's good, my boy?
What's up with it?
Man, shit, man, this is a great interview right here, man. Appreciate it, Major Key Boxing. You know, one thing about Lolo, you know, he's only 17 years old. You know, he has a long way to go, but at 17, to see that type of skill set, you know, it's amazing. You know, to be fighting grown men at such a young age, performing at a high level, it speaks for itself. You know, Lolo in the amateurs, like I said, he was respected by his peers. He been in there with the top guys. You know, I mean, the reason why I asked you, Charles, about the amateur career, because some people might not know about those guys that he faced. Mm-hmm. And that's why I just wanted to shed light on the competition, that he beat those top guys, right? That he went against the top guys and he won.
Right.
That's all. You know what I mean? And I feel like the fans should know, because there's a lot of, you know what I mean, people that's coming up in the game. And we know that Devin Haney been in the ring in the amateurs with Ryan Garcia 6 times. Right. We know that they had history.
It looked like you trying to keep some info in, because you're smiling when H Money says that. It's like you keeping something in.
Amen, man. I know
the fans hear it.
Get it out, H. What you gonna say?
Yeah, he's humble though. Hey, Major Key. The thing about
no, I appreciate that. That's why I'm smiling when I say, you know, like I could see, you know, he want to restore something there, but you know,
it's all good.
Yeah, it's all.
I think he got a phone call, but yeah, he been in there with the top guys. So, what we wanted to know was, you know, who who exactly did Lolo face in the amateurs? Anybody, worth mentioning? Who was those guys?
Nobody worth mentioning, man. Everybody. If you were asking who we fought, ask me who you think we fought. Who is it that you're aiming at, man? And
Let's see, because I know that you did mention Ashton. For those that don't know, Ashton Silva, hell of a fighter. Considered one of the best prospects in boxing. Is it true that Lolo faced Ashton in the amateurs?
yeah, he did. Yeah, they fought 3 times.
And what was the outcome in those fights? Ashton Silva, this guy is a beast.
Right. They fought when they was kids 2 times. Lolo won the first, Ashton won the second. Then Lolo won, around 14 or 15 for the Junior Olympics or something like that.
Okay. All right. Is it true that Lolo he faced Kid Austin, Floyd Schofield, the kid, he's been doing interviews. I heard he sparred against Devin Haney. Is it true that Lolo faced Kid Austin in the amateurs?
Yeah, Lolo fought Floyd.
You know who that is, right? Major Kickboxing. I think Punch Drunk interviewed this kid recently.
Yeah. I know who that is.
Yeah, so Lolo faced him. And what was the outcome in that amateur fight?
Lolo won. That was the last nationals Lolo fought. He fought Schofield in like the 3rd fight or something like that.
It was some good work, though. It was good work, but Lolo, he came out on top.
Yeah, he did for sure. Unanimous.
Hey, unanimous, man. Left in with no doubt. Major Kickboxing. You know what I mean? The kid is special, man. And one more question before I head out. I know there's more people that want to hop on the panel. Where can we find
Yeah,
you guys?
I was going to ask him all about that, but nobody's
Okay.
jumping on the panel right now, so it's all good because people are saying, like Sinister, for example, is shopping for shower curtains because usually I go live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
Okay.
this is kind of early. This is kind of early for Major Key Monday, but you know what I'm saying. Of course, it's on your time because it's an interview about you and shedding some light on what y'all doing. You know what I mean? So it's my pleasure. If anything, I could time it up. I could chop it up later on too. But for right now, it's your time. So don't even worry about that at H Money. If nobody else is clicking, as soon as I see somebody else jump in, I'll let you know. Hey, somebody else wants to join the panel. But right now, there's nobody in the background, so we good.
For sure. So, I mean, we know about these young fighters, and we know that they are very good. We know that Floyd Schofield is a very good fighter. We know that Ashton Silva is a hell of a talent, and we know that Lolo is a great young fighter as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they come up in the rankings. But Lolo, 17 years old, he's still a teenager, and he's out here doing some big things. And I think that's remarkable that that these fighters are so young, but they are turning professional at a young age. We seen Devin Haney do it. We see Jalil Hackett trying to do it. Ashton Silva, Lolo. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it definitely. You know what I mean? Great job, Charles, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
For sure. Hey, Charles, my phone kind of messed up right now. So if you hit me, I don't know what's going on with my phone. So I'm going to try to call you later on. And Major Kickboxing, appreciate it, my brother. Great job. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you could tell a Punch about Lolo, and we can get him on Punch channel as well.
No doubt. We definitely talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like first, we want to know where we can find you and your son, where we can follow, where we can get some footage. I know where I'm subscribed, but let everybody else know.
Okay. My YouTube channel is Charles Harris. You can subscribe to that and to follow Lolo on Instagram at Lolo the Coldest _1 or something like that. And yeah, that's where he's at, man. Follow the young dude. He's up and coming. Just know that we the type of people we just worried about ourselves, man. And we're not looking at nobody else. You know what I mean? Other amateurs, these other young guys, we wish them nothing but the best. We respect the sport. You know what I mean? We respect everybody that gets in there. This is a tough sport, man. So it's hard enough, you know. So why is one guy always hating on another guy? It's hard enough to get to that spot. You know what I mean? So, you know, we just trying to build our own little lane, man, and rock it out that way.
No doubt. Well, I got another brother on the panel here who also has a channel, World Combat Sports. So he's in the building. What's going on, Scotty? What's going on, World Combat?
Major Key, what's good? Charles, what's popping?
What's up, bro?
Hey, man, I just wanted to give a shout out. I saw you on the panel, man. I know y'all still out here grinding and getting these fights in. You know, your son is 17, young lion in the game, man. What's been the best experience in the learning process having those fights over there in Mexico and building up his record?
Every fight, man, is just different. You never know what you're gonna get, you know, and it's just getting them experience, man. I'm just happy that I'm blessed to be able to get him over there and get him more experience, man. That's really what it's about for Mexico. You know, the experience of fighting with 8-ounce gloves on. So the more experience he gets, the better, you know what I mean? And the more you're working on your game, and that's what we're trying to do, man. We're just trying to work on different points of his game each fight, and we're still taking baby steps with him, you know what I mean? Because you know, he's still 17. So, you know, as he gets older and starts growing and his strength and he starts spreading out, his body starts filling all the way out, you know what I mean? We'll see where it takes us, man. But right now, man, it's the experience is the best thing of Mexico right now.
That's what's up. I remember when y'all was just getting snapped in over there the first time you rolled over there and say, man, I got to find out how everything worked. Now y'all kind of veterans over there, man. You know, y'all been going back and forth.
Yeah, man. Well, shout out to my boy Ivan over there with Ashton's pops. And, you know, he kind of, you know, told me, you know, Lo, let's slide together, man, and do this thing. Both of our sons is doing the same thing, you know. And, they both came up at one point. Ashton and Lolo were like enemies in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the competitiveness of this. You know, his dad wanted just like, you know, I wanted for Lolo, you know, and, you know, but at the end of the day, now they're two young men coming into the game. And, you know, it's kind of fun. You know what I mean? It's good when they don't got to go at each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've already seen that, you know, but, you know, it's good when they could go as teammates and cool and chop it up and they get to enjoy the Mexico festivities after. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So last question, you know, with his age and he's still growing and everything, how long you think you're going to be at 130? Since at 17, he may be still growing all the way up to what, 19, 20?
That's a great question. I was actually going to ask that, and I forgot to ask that earlier. That's a great question because he's starting out at this weight, which is already stacked, and it's going every single weight division he goes up into is going to be stacked too.
Yeah. That's it, man. And I love it. I love it that he's down there with the dogs. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I got a dog. And when it's said and done, when Lolo starts to get that man strength on him, I think you know what I mean? I just got to keep him safe until then. You know, I think everything else will play out in the ring, man. I think that I got that guy. You know, so I don't know what weight he's gonna grow into. You know, because like you said, he's still filling out. He's 17. He's walking around the house around here around 145, working out still. You know what I mean? 145-ish, you know. You know, his body ain't done growing, you know, and I know that. So when it's all said and done, he might end up, you know, junior middleweight. You never know. I don't know, you know. I'm just taking.
World Combat. No, I was gonna say World Combat Hangout. Don't just jump off real quick because nobody else is in the background. But no, I'm sorry. Did you complete the thought or no? Because I wanted to say something.
Yeah,
okay. So I really like. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I mean? I seen some footage where he was sparring, and I was wondering because I was looking at his footwork. He had great footwork, and then what I noticed was the other dude was trying to feel him out and get aggressive. And then the first thing he did was throw 3 straight jabs, like you know, he pumped out 3 jabs back to back. And I was like, damn, okay, that's a great way to start right there. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. I like the way that because you know you got to keep him at bay, you know. And so the first thing was, oh, you want to come aggressive? Boom, boom, boom. You know, and it was like, oh, okay, now I see where you're coming from.
Right,
And then I seen the way he started throwing combinations together. So it wasn't like he was observant, which of course you want your son to take his time, not to jump into a situation where he's gonna fight a brawler, like a Mexican style brawler, and then lose in the ring like that. But if he's fighting that type of competition that's going to continue the pressure, right? You want to keep him at bay, and I thought that was a great way to do it. And then with the combination punching after that, it was like, okay, so he's gonna let people know that he's there. It's not gonna be like he's just running around, because you could have used the footwork, but you still got to throw some punches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got to have that right mixture of dog.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what you're saying. I think Lolo's got that right mixture of dog in him. I just got to make sure he's in the proper shape to be able to bring it out. You know what I mean? Because,
right.
It's either in you or it's not. You know what I mean? Right. And I think so. It's just making sure he's in the right strength and the right proper condition to be able to throw. Because, that's all Lolo does as far as men, and they come in, a lot of them is coming 1,000 miles an hour. They ain't trying to box and look cute and just let you outbox them. They trying to hurt you. They throwing their hardest, and you got to respect that. They trying to make it look ugly. You know what I mean? While keep stuff pretty. So it's going to come a point where the rubber meets the road, where you dig them feet up into that ring, and you're going to have to throw, you know what I mean, to get this guy up off you some and get some respect.
I agree with that 1,000%, man. I'm glad. World Combat asked about that earlier. Any other questions, World Combat?
No, that's it, man. Hey, appreciate you, Major Key, and to Lolo team, Charles. You know what it is, man. Y'all continue to succeed out there. Best wishes, man. Be safe.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Yo, I appreciate you too, man. We got Punch Drunk in the building. Punch, you wanna ask any questions, man? I'm gonna throw the link one more time. If anybody has any questions, Guido up in the building. Of course, everybody in the building, man. Salute to all of you guys, man. I always appreciate y'all support. I know y'all are all around the YTBC. Let's start showing some support. Again, what's for the new people in here? What's the channel that they can follow you on as far as YouTube? And I know you got your Twitter or whatever, but you could give all of that. But first the YouTube, because the YouTube is showing the footage,
Right.
You guys are throwing out there.
You subscribe to Charles Harris on YouTube, and I got a lot of Lolo's Nationals, and I just be putting it up sometimes, and just trying to keep the fans tuned in with how my boy works. You know what I mean? That's why I got all that footage up. At the end of the day, we don't care what people see. You know what I mean? You still want to put them and see his speed and everything like that. So we're not worried about that. But Charles, and now on Instagram, you can look me up at Lolo the Coldest with a D, Lolo the Coldest _, and he'll pop up.
No doubt. All right. Well, look, man. Unless you have any final thoughts, man, I appreciate you popping up here. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna go live with the Major Key Monday later on, and really start talking about the last weekend and what's coming up with the future weeks. You know what I mean? If you got some time, and you want to be back here, I appreciate you being on the panel. But right now, this was your moment. It wasn't about anything else. So no, definitely, man. I'm a big promoter of the young kids coming up, man, because at the end of the day, man, like you said before, we want the kids to put the guns down and the gloves up, Yeah. And if you know how to defend yourself, if not, learn how to defend yourself, and don't go afraid in the gym. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I used to street fight, and I had to earn my respect, especially the neighborhoods that I was growing up in. But I felt like a little worried about like going into a gym with somebody that might be trained, and I didn't want to look like a sucker getting knocked out or something like that. But everybody got to understand that when you go into a gym, that's not what happens right away. What happens, you start getting trained before you get into a sparring session, unless you in there acting crazy and acting a fool. Yeah, exactly. If you're acting a fool, then they're gonna throw you in right there with the wolves.
Okay,
we got one more guest, man. Punch Drunk in the building. Hold on one second, brother.
Yeah.
There we go. There you go. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, what's good? What's good? Harris, what's good, my brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see father and son collaboration like always. I always feel like in boxing, fatherhood is prominent in the sport of boxing. Fatherhood, so I'm happy to see that. I would like to ask you what's the plans in the business of boxing, because I believe I believe that boxing is heading to a new evolution of fighters promoting themselves, fighters taking the careers in their own hands and not depending on not even on promoters nor network. There's a lot of streams now. There's a lot of apps that's being created. So what's your plans in creating that business model for your son and yourself?
Man, hey, shit. First and foremost, I got so many kids, man, and you know what I'm saying, and just raising the whole family, going
You
to
sound
work,
like me.
and going to the gym after that, and making sure he eat right, and all of this, man, and one is enough on my plate. You know what I'm saying? So, I just worry about the next day. And I need to think about stuff like that. You know what I mean? I be telling some of my friends, be coming up with ideas like that and everything, and I tell them, man, damn, man, I got so much. My mind is already full with the plate that I got. You got to understand, my middle son, he's ranked number 1 in the nation. My youngest, my 13-year-old one, is ranked number 2 in the nation. So I got to give them the equal and then I got Lolo starting his pro career, so it's, so I guess I don't look that far ahead right now. With him being 17, he's still a guppy in the pond, and I'm just worried about just trying to make him the best him, man, that I could do. And that's like you said, I'm preparing him for this warrior type sport, man. That's the most I could give right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know you understand because you're a father. You know what I mean? I'm just pouring in 110% into them. I'm always being paranoid. I'm always trying to test them. I take them out and fight big big guys once in a while, and so I'm always pushing them, man, because I want them to know what it's like to be in a war before they get there. You know what I mean?
Facts. Because I know basically you just focus on the trenches, on the skill set, on putting tools in the toolbox, but then there's another war outside of boxing.
Yeah.
And we don't want these young fighters to get look at the likes of Terrence Crawford. He's having deals with his promoter, and you see Teofimo Lopez dealing with his promoter, and we don't want these fighters to be taken advantage of, because just like these fighters are new to the business, even the fathers are new to the business as well, to rely on the managers and things of that nature. But I think that there's going to be a new wave of young fighters that's going to really change the game and take the sport in their own hands. So, hey, get a great circle around John, right, so you could focus on
just the
when yeah.
Right, for sure. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
That's what's up. So how's your son doing now? I'm sorry, I caught it late. I tried to rush home to catch this.
Oh, good, bro. Yeah, he's doing good, man. He's fighting again April 24th for his 5th pro fight. You know what I mean? He's 4-0 with 3 knockouts. It's kind of we started off a little rocky. You know what I mean? I just threw him out there. When he was 16. You know what I mean? It wasn't really in the gym sparring too much. He only had sparred Tank and one other big dude, and then I took him out to Mexico and fought him. You know what I mean? So I kind of walked in a little assward backwards. You know what I mean? But sometimes like you said, these trainers like me, we haven't done this whole thing before, and sometimes you do it the wrong way, and you're like, okay, I need to straighten up. I need to take this 110% serious, and that's all I've been trying to do with him now, So we're just taking every fight, day by day, man, and trying to get him better, But the 24th will be his next fight in Mexico, and like I was telling my boy Major Key, I'm not trying to rush him. I don't care about going to the zone right now, no damn, PBC or none of that. I ain't trying to rush him into this. It's not a sprint in this sport for me. I'm not trying to sprint to get him to stardom. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You don't want to throw your son to the wolves like that without him being prepared, man. I get it. I get it 1,000% as a father, man. That's like I gave you credit before. I give you credit again for saying that again.
especially when your kid's been training since 5 years old. You know, you just want to go out there. You're so hyped to get him to the TV that they throw him in a dog fight, and you're thinking, "What the hell have I done?" You know what I mean? I'm not trying to go that route, man. I want him to get as much experience as he can with this Mexico thing. We're right down here near the border. We're a couple hours away in San Bernardino. You know, if I could just keep paying that little ticket and going down there and doing our thing and getting them experience with these grown men that are throwing their hardest with 8-ounce gloves at them, you know, that's experience. Each fight out there is experience. And then when I feel that he's just totally gained everything that he needs out there, you know, and he's going up in rounds from 4-rounders to 6 to 8s or whatever. And then I'll take him, like you said, to that screen, to the big screen, when I know he's star ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now he's still a boy. You know what I mean? He's 17. You know, he ain't, you know, he's still finding out who he is. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. So, you know, I'm just not trying to rush it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. We understand it's a dangerous sport, so you got to be highly prepared on each stage, each opponent. So I understand that, but I'm here. We here to support you, my brother. Thank you for letting me ask you questions. Major Key Boxing in the building. Thank you for having me, my brother.
Oh, baby, brother. Yeah, Rap Star in the building. Rap Star in the building. He got some questions.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna check out the scene. I'm gonna be in the
cut. All right, brother. I appreciate you popping up, bro.
All right, peace, my brother.
All right.
Hey, Mr. Harris, we're coming all the way from England, live and direct from England.
From England. Okay.
Yeah, Bristol over there. Let him introduce himself, and I'm gonna run to the restroom, and y'all chop it up real quick.
Nice.
Mr. Harris, how you doing, man? I heard some stuff about your son. I follow boxing, have a media channel in London, in England, and I wanted to ask you a couple of questions as a father to a father.
Okay.
So, as a dad, did you have any challenges early on as a father to get your son into boxing, or was it a natural transition?
Natural transition. I started him off, he was 5 years old. I put a 3-piece, I showed him a 3-piece combination and had him dipping. I had him going bop, bop, bop and dip. When he was 5 years old, he was doing that repetitiously every day, along with his sets of push-ups and everything since he was 5. So by the time he got in the ring at 8 years old, he was already ahead of the guy. He was already slipping and throwing shots. So I put him in when he already knew what he was doing, you know?
Yeah, that's amazing. But, you know, as a dad, I want to know, you know, being in boxing is not an easy sport. It's a very lonely sport for some of these kids. And you must have had to get the guidance going, because, you know, you've got to isolate them from some of the friends, which are no good. We have to isolate them from, you know, somewhere these boxers don't even have the same friendship with women like the other kids do. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I'm sure that you need to mold in your son. Has that been easy, or is there some difficult times that you've experienced on the way?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely difficult time, you know, at times, you know, raising a young boy. And like you said, them wanting to hang with a certain guys at a certain crowd and everything. And the women and the girls, you know, he's at that age where he be wanting to go slide over a girl house and hang out with her and everything. And it might be in a gang infested neighborhood and all of that. So I be having to tell him to hold on and you know, pump his brakes. And because I've been around the block, you know, and I'm not trying to have him out there in the block, you know. So a lot of that, like at times we bump heads, but it's only for the better, you know. He'll thank me later on, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But as a father, do you think there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes at boxing, that if there's anything you could share with us, what would be the couple of key points for our children if we want to get them into boxing?
The couple of key points would be repetitions of doing the right things. Repetitions of doing the right things. If you practice doing the right thing every day, then, you know, it's going to come a time where it just is a natural, you know, he's natural. It will become natural without thinking. So repetitions will be my major key point, you know. Hey, look at that, major key boxing, right? Major key point.
Hey. All right, so we got another clumsy janitor in the building. I'm AKA the clumsy janitor, so we got a second clumsy janitor in the building, dropping keys everywhere. I appreciate that.
Right. Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, that's what I would say. Repetitions, man. Repetitions of doing the right thing. You know, it might seem boring. It might seem, like, what is this for? But it works. And it comes.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
So he answered your question, Rap. Any other follow-up questions, bro?
Yeah, just we're going to look out for Lolo's career. We're keeping a close eye to him. If there's anything else I'd like to say, I have to congratulate you as a father, knowing that you're all involved in his business. And I think at the end of the day, if there's any kind of an outline, how long would you want your son to be in the sport?
That's a good question. I'd probably say my guess would be no later than 32, 33. Somewhere around there. You know, I still want him young. You know, I still want him to be able to enjoy his money, enjoy what the world has for him. You know, so yeah.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, Major Key, for having us on. I got a bad connection, but Mr. Harris, all love and respect to you for what you're doing for your son, my brother.
Thank you. I got to have brother from out there in England. You know, he wants me to come visit him. As a matter of fact, you know, he wants my son to come out there too. You know, but
Rap star's a bad influence. Rap star's a bad influence. You don't want him around rap stars. I'm just playing.
He might know him. You never know. You know, they might be boys.
Hey, don't listen to Major Key, yeah? I'm not from Bristol, all right?
No, Rap Star's my brother right there, man. We appreciate you, Rap Star. So, yo, man.
I appreciate you.
No doubt, bro. So, look, man, I appreciate you popping up here. Any final thoughts? And also, what I want to say, too, is anytime you got an upcoming fight, you know what I'm saying? I want you to, you got my number, just text me. Let's do like a little recording, a little something, free promo, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Like let's get that promotion out there and let's get his name built up, you know what I mean? So anytime you need me, to do a little skit or something like that, have you explain what's going on and why you're doing what you're doing, just keep us in line, because right now he's only got 4 fights. And we want to see him progress throughout his career, and we want him to be part of the Major Key family. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
No doubt, bro.
Okay, I'll stay in touch.
Peace out. I'll see you guys later, brother.
Peace,
yeah. For showing up. Thanks.
Yep. All right, brother. So there you go, man. Y'all heard it right there from the horse's mouth, man. Yo, legitimate young prospect. It sounds like he's in good hands. Father's really like looking out for him. Doesn't want to put him in a bad situation, grooming him the right way that you're supposed to groom your child, like you care. You know, not like one of these promoters is just gonna, use them all up and just throw them in bad situations. So I gotta respect that and appreciate that. Me myself, Major Key, I may be up live again in about an hour for Major Key Mondays to talk about the fights and the future fights. So look out for that. But at this point, man, the purpose of this particular video was strictly about Charles Lolo Harris. So I appreciate you all tuning in, and hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Of course, subscribe. You know what I mean? CasApp's in the description. Just let me know if anything. We're gonna be probably going live again in about an hour and a half. All right. So in the meantime, shout out to everybody that showed up. I appreciate y'all. Easy.